Hi all, welcome to another episode of the Offside.
And Overthrows podcast. Finally, we are doing some offside version of the podcast. Uh, we're going to talk about the top contenders of the Premier League in this episode. We're going to talk about the summer transfer window and what is good to look forward for those teams. Let's go.
Hi Shri, welcome to Florida.
Hot here, no?
It's been hot. It's been surprisingly breezy as well. I think you just bring a breath of fresh air to Florida.
Nobody's complimented me so much. But what do you have to say? Finally, after the cricket season is done for us, essentially, got a good break.
Oh, good break.
From
Definitely,
cricket?
yes. Now I'm looking forward to more about 38 game weeks and of soccer, football.
Football.
And we'll see. I'm excited.
What-
We are already, as we record this video, we are already 1 week
into
game week 1. So pretty interesting action the first week, and
Yeah.
a lot to unfold in the transfer market. So the last 10 days are going to be on gas.
Yeah, I mean, this is a summer which almost seemed to start almost towards the end of last season itself, where Liverpool and other teams started tracking players,
Yeah.
started almost signing players to the point where you started hearing news about players being tracked and transfer dealings ongoing and all. And it seems to have started and flown significantly, where a lot of teams have bought like a good chunk of players.
Right. Yeah, I was saying, you could put it two ways. One, it feels like the last season didn't end, or it just, this season has just been on for forever now, or for some time now. I think it's all credits to sort of the Club World Cup, where where clubs sort of first opened a 1 week window to
Right.
get signings in, and most clubs who did participate in the Club World Cup, but also top clubs. Liverpool were also active, so I think uh,
It
sort
kind of
makes it feel
it kind
a lot
of
more.
builds in really well to the theme of our podcast today, is that we're trying to dissect what transfer activities the top 8 or 9 teams in the Premier League did, where they stand, and what could the next season have in store for them. So the reason why I say it builds in really well is we all knew Trent was leaving Liverpool. He was going to Madrid. He'd been practicing Spanish for a couple of
Man, he's
months.
fluent. The way he spoke Spanish was like fish to water. Like there's ain't no way that boy is speaking as fluent of Spanish without having practicing it for like at least 6 months. So,
That's what he said, right? He's been practicing. But the thing is, we should have gotten 0 for him. But his
that was
deal
an
was.
excellent piece of business that Liverpool did.
Yeah.
To get 10 million for pretty much a free signing
Yeah.
was a steal. Like incredible.
Yeah.
For all the, I was going to just add and say, for all the slag that Richard Hughes got
Yeah.
for
Last
not being able to sign anyone, apparently like big signings,
Yeah.
and all the flag that he got for all the delays with
The
Van
drop
Dijk's and
contracts.
Salah's contract extension. It's sort of timely and befitting that this season has been huge so far.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool's transfer business almost started flawlessly, where they replaced Trent with Frimpong, like who's not a like replacement, but a really good like right wing back slash right back. Interesting to see. We got probably the best left back in the league in Milos Kerkesh.
Best budding left back is probably how I would put it.
Budding.
He's
I mean,
definitely got potential.
I think last year in the PFA Premier League he was the
He
left
was the,
back.
yeah, he was the left back of the year.
Yeah, so I will say
Definitely.
probably
Yeah,
the left
sure.
back of the year.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, of course.
We got Hugo Ekitike. 95 million, maybe a little too high, but
He actually looked like a 95 million player. Like
In the first
to begin,
games,
to
yeah.
begin Premier League with an assist and a goal.
And a goal, yeah.
You know who else has done that?
Darwin Nunez.
So
Oh,
let's
man.
just hope the story is different this time around.
No, I'm sure. I mean, I really hope so. But I wish Darwin the best as well. And finally, the blockbuster signing, Florian Wirtz.
Flow.
So I mean,
apparently, yeah.
I mean, we signed 4 players so quickly. It seemed like we were plugging all the gaps and bringing in more firepower. But then we lost Darwin Nunez, which I think it's a good piece of business.
Well, I wouldn't say we lost Darwin Núñez. That sort of sounds crude.
Well, given that we actually lost somebody this season, so
Sure, yeah, we got
I
to
mean-
address that. It's definitely tough summer for
Yeah.
Liverpool as a fan, sort
as
of
a club
whole.
overall, right?
Yeah, I mean, Diogo Jota's presence, I think, extends much beyond the pitch as well. Like, so it's definitely a loss on and off the field.
I mean, the rendition of "You'll Never Walk Alone" and the kind of celebrate the way we celebrated, like as a club on the first match day, was unbelievable. To see Salah in tears at the end, even the whole thing gave me goosebumps, man.
Right. It did. Like I think most Liverpool players had sort of a I don't know, call it a homage to to Diogo Jota after their goals or after the victory. So
Yeah, even
fantastic.
Ekatike after he scored, he did the 20 celebration.
20,
So that's that. So yeah, I mean Jota. I mean from last year, Liverpool were able to change the game off the bench so much because we had 5, 6 if you include Chiesa as frontline attackers, where there were so many games where Jota came on, scored, Nunez came on, scored, Gakpo came on, scored.
Yeah, I don't remember which game it was or against whom we played, where Slot brought both Tsimikas and Jota.
Nottingham
And
Forest away.
It was Nottingham Forest, and how Jota scored off his first touch, and Tsimikas also assisted off his first touch with the corner. So, yeah, I mean, I think we would definitely miss Jota overall as a presence, but I think he'd also be celebrated throughout the season.
He should be, right? And I mean, the reason is we've kind of let go of. I mean, we are missing 3 of our forwards from last season: Jota, Nunez, and Diaz. What do you think now? All said and done, the signings we've made, the players we've lost or let go. Like, I feel like our attacking, like Arsenal, is maybe 1 or 2 players short.
Sure. I mean, the just the long pause of the stretch was. I think we have a solid team, but the question. We have a solid team. We definitely will begin the season with a bang, which we sort of already
have.
I think definitely having one more sort of proven striker or an attacking option in the team sort of improves the squad depth, and the fact that we are definitely expecting to compete in like what all friends, all four trophies, 4 cups this season. Surely warrants that you have a more robust, solid, and like a bigger team with more squad depth.
I mean,
so that is definitely something
It's nice you said striker.
How did I?
What do you think? Will Liverpool get Isak?
I have a feeling that they would eventually get him, and what I mean by eventually, it's probably going to be like a deadline day, 11:59 a.m. signing, 11:59 p.m. signing.
Yeah.
It's sort of nasty, or little sort of ugly of how things have been going.
Yeah.
Sure, everything we discuss and have been reading is all what we are reading in like the internet or in the news. My only concern that remains is this hopefully doesn't show much of what kind of personality we would bring into the team. Like I hope not. I hope not. So and Liverpool sort of have a record to not track people who aren't like a cultural or a social fit into the squad. So it remains to be seen. But that said, I think it will be like we will sort of push Newcastle to like the last hour, and to grind out some more dollars out of it.
I think the fact that we are playing Newcastle like in the second weekend, so I think the deal somehow didn't feel possible before that because they didn't want Isak to play against them.
Right.
So probably after that game, things could start.
It could change. I think a lot also depends on honestly Newcastle as a team. Let me take a pause. I was going to say I honestly want Newcastle to do well, do good.
They're a good team.
They're a good team. All their controversies around like PIF and their ownership aside, I just like Eddie Howe as a manager. He's been brilliant. He's someone whom we can truly say he's like self-made. He's earned and carved a name for himself, and he has shown the ability to like improve players. And sure, he tends to go for the under the radar or players who are just below
the
or
top
running below their
level.
potential, gets them on board, especially English players, and improves them. So I would really want them to. Yeah, well, I was going to say I really want them to retain Isaac, but that's not going to go well. But I would really hope that they, get to sign replacement, be that, Johan Visa or, Brun Larson, or just sign both them. I think they would have enough money with all the money they're expecting to get out of the Isaac deal. But overall, I would want Newcastle to do well as well. So we'll see.
I would say, that Isak, either way it goes, Liverpool are a striker or an attacker short.
Sure.
And maybe a defender short because we sold one of our centre backs in the sense that Kwanzaa, there was a great deal to sell him for 30 million.
Pure profit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that leaves us with three centre backs, Gomez, Van Dijk and Konate, where Gomez and Konate are injury prone.
Hey, well, we did sign Giovanni Leone.
Right.
He's like a raw diamond for sure based on the other videos we've seen. He is physical. He doesn't look the most agile yet, but he's 19. I think he can grow. He's already like 6'5".
Yeah.
That's huge. And I was of course, as every avid Liverpool fan would have done, I just skimmed through all the videos on internet, and man, he has some. This might be an overstatement right now. He has some like Ramos-esque tackles. He just flies into one and then gets the ball out.
Wow, that's a big comparison.
I know. Which in Premier League is a good talent to have. Like physical is something bodes very well with Premier League. So we'll see. He's probably going to be an understudy this season. He may not. He might get limited exposure. He's definitely going to be slowly, blended into the team. That's typically what Slot does.
Yeah.
He wouldn't really rush anyone and risk either injuring them or sort of imbalancing the team.
Yeah, all in all, Wirtz, I think, has shown glimpses of what he can do along with, the potential of Leone. But Wirtz, I have a slight worry that he is probably not ready for the Premier League physicality yet. Because against Bournemouth, I saw them literally harry him off the ball with their physicality.
He will be roughed up. There is people do know that he's he's a delicate feather touch of a player. So the only way you could
get
take
him off
on
the ball
him is actually rattle him, make those physical contacts. I think he's sort of a low profile player in terms of height and build.
Okay.
And so that should give him more sort of maneuverability. I think what they call is low center of gravity. So I just hope he, that comes to his rescue.
Continuous.
Continuous. But that said, I also hope that he's also a fragile player. He's had some long
ACL, right?
long sort of injury list or injury track record. So I just hope that he doesn't get roughed up enough so bad.
It's next game against Newcastle is going to be a good place for us to know.
I so fear Wirtz versus Joe Linton sort of matchup.
Yeah.
Joe Linton is like a beast. He's gonna come after him for sure.
Yeah, having said that, so eventually at the all said and done, given where we are, what do you think Liverpool can they win the title?
Well, I was gonna add before we go there. On the defensive reinforcement thingy, Mark Gay is being actively tracked.
Yeah, you've been saying?
We've been saying this even in our previous sort of
video
recording that we did. The links had started to pop back then. It's probably 6 weeks now, and then it had mellowed down. And then a week before, a week earlier, things started to
pick up again.
The last 2 days have been quiet. I really hope we go on to sign Gay. We have a long season. I really hope we sort of go all the way in most of the competition, which means you need good squad depth. And when we say squad depth, we just don't want squad players. I know back in the day we used to loathe Man City because we felt that they had 2 starting 11s. I think they were sort of ahead of the curve in terms of showing the Premier League or the world that you actually need, robust, pretty much 2 starting 11s to actually compete in all seasons and be as competitive and as brute force.
Basically, able to rotate your players enough so that they are fresh when the business end of the season comes in.
That's right.
But Mark Gay, it's a World Cup year. He definitely wants to play. He is definitely the first choice centre back for England. So it's going to be super interesting whether Liverpool can offer him that, given like Van Dijk and Konate are the preferred first choice.
I hope there is a happy medium that both the club and the player can achieve.
Yeah.
What excites me more honestly is, Van Dijk is 34.
Yeah.
He's getting no old.
Yeah.
And if the first game had to show anything, and including the Community Shield, he
is slowing down.
Yeah, he's probably slowing down, or he might just be slowly ramping up. But we do need like a left-sided centre-back replacement in the long term. And if hopefully Konate signs an extension, like Gehi and Konate can be like a...
And Leone.
And Leone can be like, wow.
Wow.
That's a mouth-watering defense to, to carry and develop. So
all said and done, beginning of the season, I thought Liverpool were hot favourites to win the title. Mm-hmm. Now, given the players that we've sold, like some holes in the squad, I feel, and the signings that Arsenal and Man City have made, which we'll come to next, I feel like Liverpool will have a very strong fight on their hands to retain the title, because I think, Man City, especially Arsenal, have actually strengthened the squad really well. I feel it will be a tight race at least up to December, and then when the festive season period comes in, it'll be make or break, depending on injuries, a little luck, and how the international breaks go.
For sure,
I feel like one of the teams will kind of
go sort of raise the expectations last season. I don't know if it would be even fitting to call Liverpool as a dark horse before the beginning of last season. Like, people thought that new manager, transition year,
sign nobody.
A top 4 is probably as good of a season it could get, and then boom.
They won the title.
Won the title. Now they are like, this is the team to beat. But no, I agree with you. I might slightly disagree with the point that we have sold players. Well, we have sold players, but in theory we also sold players who were probably in the fringes of the team. Not really like a first team, first choice starter.
I will say Diaz was a first team, first choice starter.
Sure. But then we have able replacement for Diaz.
In Gakpo,
so we probably may not miss him as much. Yeah. But overall, all the other players we've sold are, Trent, yes. So, sure. But we've also ably replaced them.
Right.
So it gives us enough confidence. I think Gravenberch coming back is going to be a big deal for us. Like, if whatever the first 2 games had to show, we need someone. We need that 6 who would drop in between the centre backs and plug the gap.
I mean, last season, just to finish on that point, last season everybody was like, okay, Gravenberch is number 6, but has he actually done that well? Like, now the first 2 games are really showing you, right? Like how easily he was making that position look, and he was shielding that back line.
Right.
Like, his absence is felt so much. Now, very, very well kind of merging into Arsenal. Like, the recent news yesterday that...
The perennial...
bridesmaids. But, yesterday there was the news, fresh news broke that they have agreed a deal with Eberechi Eze. 68 million. They literally stole him off under Tottenham's nose, which is kind of unfortunate for Tottenham, but great for Arsenal.
Great for Arsenal, man.
Yes. Last season, what were the things we spoke about? That their number 6 is not, if Rice is playing number 6, they're missing out on his athleticism.
That's correct.
They replaced, they got Zubimendi.
We could even start with saying that Rice is probably not a number 6. He's more of a box-to-box player. He adds much more to the team when he has the freedom.
He is a box-to-box player, but obviously for England as well, he's played number 6 and for Arsenal.
Right.
But he's shown his skill set in goal scoring and everything by being a box-to-box player, making
that difference. Someone who would actually take care of the defense.
And Partey was too much of a defense injury liability.
All over the place.
Injury liability, so he couldn't be trusted, and Jorginho was getting old. Right. So Zubimendi is a brilliant signing, because the fact that Liverpool tracked him so heavily and wanted him.
I would even say Notgard is a good signing. He may not be a starter, but he's good enough to come, probably see through games, finish games.
Yeah.
His experience is probably 29, not too old, but I think he's more like an Jorginho replacement in the team.
No. It's nice to have somebody who's an experienced Premier League player. Essentially, if in games where the going gets tough, probably the physicality is too much for a Zubimendi to handle. You bring on an Notgard, you shore up your team if you're in the lead, of course.
Sure.
You kind of hold the possession and make it difficult for the other team to play.
Right.
So, he's a great signing. Zubimendi is an amazing signing. At least so far, whatever he's looked like, he's looked great. You have Gyökeres. See, they missed a number 9. Absolutely missed a number 9 for them. Maybe was Gyökeres their first choice? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Sheshko might have been their first choice.
Yeah.
But beyond that, Gyökeres is a proven goal scorer. He scored enough goals, and it'll probably.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was just going to say his physicality is probably going to help him board in. Is he going to come score 20 goals right away? Arguably, maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
But he seems to be someone who's solid, who's not injury prone. Let's start there. The one thing
Firstly,
Arsenal struggled with was they have
injuries.
A good solid number 9, but then Jesus is not match fit.
Hey, Havertz just got injured. So I mean, they have already lost.
I've been thinking about this. It just occurred to me. We talk about how Chelsea's number 9 is sort of a cursed position. It could be true about Arsenal.
That's actually you may be right, because Aubameyang, like, although how good he was, he had like really bad times
off the field.
Yeah. And then you, like, Bentner, we all know about him.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Lord, exactly. Chamak couldn't get going. Actually, the fact that you say Giroud was probably very underrated that way.
Giroud was underrated.
He was actually very good, was building up the play, but nobody gave him enough credit at that point.
Right.
But yeah.
Or they didn't really play that kind of football back then.
Sure.
Under Wenger, maybe so.
Maybe so. Yeah, he was good for. As big as he was good at those cute one-touch plays, which people probably didn't realize. But France utilized him really well when they won the World Cup. But yeah, so Gyökeres, number 9 filled. Saka's injury was like a huge problem.
They got Noni
Madueke,
who's a good prototype replacement / backfill for
Saka, but there was a lot of backlash when they signed him, like by Arsenal fans.
Sure,
for the price,
from Chelsea, there's probably that kind of rivalry that goes into it.
Plus the amount of money that they paid for him, like 52 million for a backup, didn't seem right. But it's okay, right? It's a long season. You need to rest Saka as much as you can. Yeah. Plus, I think the biggest signing is definitely Eze.
I know,
because left wing has been a problem position for them.
Yeah.
Odegaard's form has been pretty up and down. So Eberici Eze kind of fills both positions. He's great on the counter. He adds that unpredictability. Plus, like, he pushes Odegaard to be the best.
It's also poetic. Apparently, Eze was let go when he was 13 years old. So it's sort of life coming full circle. I just hope that he goes on to do well for them. The one sort of
nitpick.
Yeah, call it nitpick or hesitancy I would have is I just hope Eze doesn't end up being like a Jack Grealish. He could, of course, there's no doubt about the potential he has. Will he be a starter? How many games he would get? And again, sure. So that remains to be seen. If not for anything, it does improve a lot of squad depth and competition in the game. And as we've been talking, as City has showed, you probably need two starting 11s. Arsenal has that now. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They really have to go
for the title.
They have to go for the
No, that's the point I was reading. Like, Liverpool's transfer spending was like talked about so much that they've spent 400 million, 300 million, whatever.
They like 250 or 300 million as well for selling players.
If you think about it, Arsenal have probably spent more, right? They've spent about 70 million on Eze, about 70 million on Gyökeres, about 20 million on the centre back from Valencia.
That's right.
Mosquera. They have spent about 60 million on Zubimendi and 50 million odd on Madueke.
I lost the math. We are probably more than way more than
200, right? 200, right? So that's like a huge outlay on players. Mm-hmm. So it is about time. Like, okay, great project. He's finally brought them consistently as a challenger for the Premier League. Right. They went to the semi-finals of the Champions League last year, which was like a great progression. But I think it's about time. They will start winning trophies.
It's now or never in the sense that I like Arteta. I like what he brings. Overall, in terms of what he brings to the league and his philosophy. The point I'm trying to get to is it's high time they win something. Like to go Well, they did win a cup like 6 years ago. But then, point is, you have to have some cup to show end of 6 years. That's
No, I mean the point is this, right? I mean you spend a lot of money, you get into the top four consistently. Okay, you're getting revenues, you're able to build your squad. At the end of the day, for big players to come and stick at your club, you need to win them trophies. You need to give them trophies because there was so much news about Real Madrid potentially chasing Saliba. Now, if Arsenal does not show enough pedigree that they can win trophies, what stops Saliba from going to Real Madrid? Like when they come calling, or for that matter, I don't know, like youngsters like Ethan Nwaneri,
and
Nwaneri,
Miles Kelly, yeah,
Miles Lewis Kelly, and then they have, of course, Saliba. They have this new
Norman, the striker.
No, they have that.
Yes.
I think Dawson or somebody,
I-
right? They
yeah.
have that Cam. I think he's a Cam.
Oh, it's
But
okay.
either ways, right? So all the exciting talent will start going to teams.
Right,
People will
right.
start poaching them off you. And honestly, I think I the only qualm I have with Arteta is he is going more from a Pep school of thought where it's exciting football, where more than anything people will come to watch it for the football. Now he is going more Mourinho-esque, where he is going defensive solidity, possession, and then just win at all costs. Because they pretty much became a set-piece team, right? I mean, they scored so many goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that if you move towards a defensive kind of football, I feel like unless you win trophies,
Yeah.
unless you have things to show for
Honestly,
it, yeah.
As much as I agree with you, the opposing thought would be they're probably shoring up all the low hanging
Right,
fruits
right.
to just making sure that they leave no stone unturned.
Correct.
Plus, again, sounding like an Arsenal fan, they probably have had too many injuries in the last 2 seasons. Timber, who
He's actually a very good player.
so yeah, point being, I think they've been trying to make the right moves. It has not yet been sort of
Come
the
together.
perfect storm of a
Yeah.
season where every piece has come together as well and sort of boded well.
Yes.
So I really hope they
It clicks for
come
them.
together. Yeah, clicks to exactly.
Yeah.
Just for them. If not for anything, in the sense that of course we would still want Liverpool to win the
course.
title. Point is, it will be like a well
Thought
thought
out
out
title.
season. That is what Premier League is known for. We as much as we love to see Liverpool run away with the title last season, maybe to make it as dramatic and as theatric as possible, we want a close fight.
I mean, I won't.
Well, that's not good for health.
Yeah, exactly. I won't say that, but one thing is for sure, they've done everything they can in the transfer market, especially from their director of
Right.
football, Berta,
Berta,
I
yeah.
think. So they've made the right signings. They filled all the gaps. Now it's just about delivering on the pitch. Scraped to win against Man United in the first game.
They didn't really look good.
They actually looked really bad.
Yeah, on a slightly luckier day, United could have got nicked one and probably
Actually,
made
they
it
should have won the
1-1
game.
and even won it 2-1. So yes,
But I mean, these are the kind of games that are important for a title-winning team. Like you
as you rightly put, they pulled off a Mourinho win.
right. I mean, they scored off a set piece and then like kind of fought tooth and nail and somehow stayed in the game.
Right.
Like, that's about it. So I feel they'll be in the top two. First or second, too close to call at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah. But having said that, I feel like the kind of underdog in this. I'm very surprised. I'm calling them an underdog.
I know what's going to come, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, I mean this jersey is not for them, but I'm just saying this got lucky. But it almost seems like an underdog story because last season was so bad for Man City. The fact that everything seemed to fall apart, like
Yeah.
KDB was going away, like Rodri was injured, Pep seemed to have kind of lost his charm almost.
I think it's sort of the cliff that every team gets after 5 or 6 years at the end. So they needed the much needed sort of refresh and remodeling.
I mean the
That's
fact
probably
that
what they got. So.
I mean the fact that they spent 200 million in the winter transfer window and then spent like close to 200 million in the summer transfer window shows that they really wanted this rebuild and they've gone about it, right?
They've gone about it. Yep.
Like would you like talk about like whom they signed this summer?
Sure. Before I get there, I was just going to add what they started in January felt more like a sort of a precursor to the summer to come. Like
Wow.
that's how I
200 million precursor.
No, in the sense that look, No, right. I agree. The values these days or numbers these days probably don't mean much.
Yeah.
It's like market dynamics and inflation and whatnot. So I am struggling to even come to terms with the fact that Liverpool, who always been sort of be that money ball team, sign players under the potential and then
Make
develop
them
them kind of a scheme.
superstars.
It's sort of taking me a minute to digest the fact that we could actually go and sign like Isaac for 150 million. Point I'm trying to get to is values are keeping values aside.
Inflated,
The values and numbers aside. The point is they signed like three really good promising talent. Nico is probably older of the lot they signed in January.
You mean Nico Gonzalez?
Nico Gonzalez.
Okay.
He probably came in as a more quote unquote ready replacement for Rodri.
Yeah.
Although as we've seen, all Guardiola players do need time to sort of
bed into the system. Yeah.
So, and the other two signings were what defensive signings. Victor Rios was like a 17-year-old Brazilian defender. And
who hasn't?
Usmanov,
has he played a minute?
I don't think he has.
He has, right?
Usmanov is the Uzbek sort of
Uzbek,
19-year-old.
Another kid,
19-year-old defender who, if I remember right, on his Premier League debut,
he made a mistake.
45 minutes. Yeah, no.
Yeah, made a mistake.
Point is, so yeah, they're just building it up for the summer. But boy, I think they've had a bang of a summer overall. They probably not made like 100 million signing yet. They did go for Florian Wirtz, but the fact that Wirtz wanted to come to Liverpool and they didn't really see fit
weren't willing to spend. I think what happened with Florian Wirtz was for Man City was similar to what happened to Liverpool for Jude Bellingham. Mm-hmm. One, the player definitely chose not to come. But two, the club wasn't willing to put so much money into one player when they knew there was a bigger rebuild coming.
Or we could even say that it's what so happened for Ryan Cherky. Seemingly there were reports that Liverpool did track Ryan Cherky. Slot even sort of flew out of his vacation to go talk to him. I think that's what most top clubs do. They sort of tout multiple players. They do have like a first choice, but knowing how dynamic and volatile the
soon we'll know about Newcastle.
So so sort of Wirtz and Cherky sort of swap positions. But coming back to signings, many sort of 50-60 million signings, Cherky and Tijani Reinders, whoa, they sort of announced themselves, especially Tijani Reinders.
Reinders, right?
He's probably not the mold of Man City players, conventional Man City player, but boy, he is an engine.
He is Gundogan-esque.
He is Gundogan-esque, probably much younger.
Yeah.
Bro, he has got like the cylinder to run entire 90 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
very box to box.
Not just that.
A goal, scored a goal.
He has an end product as
and
well.
And then he also like put in an assist to an assist.
Pre-assist, right?
So
Lewis.
Man, if that's great sign. So
that's I think one of the best Premier League debuts. Potentially.
Arguably, will probably overall if you go by ratings and impact, you could put it that way.
The fact that he's, I mean, one of the lowest priced FPL players. I was so.
I roped him in just after that game. Man, this boy is going to
go places.
Be a blast.
I mean he absolutely showed how to. Last season, one of the biggest problems that Man City had in midfield was they did not have the energy because Bernardo Silva was old, KDB was old, Gundogan was old, Rodri was injured. Yeah. They probably did not have the energy in the midfield to cope with the other teams.
True.
What Reinders brings to that midfield seems like he has that energy, the bite to kind of go box to box.
Exactly.
Where Bernardo Silva, or for that matter, eventually when a Foden comes in, does not have to do so much defensive work and won't be overrun, right? Because Rodri is currently injured. So, he's out till October?
I think so.
Yeah. So that is going to be a very interesting subplot as to how they kind of managed to replace him, because the first game Reinders and Gonzalez played in the midfield. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
But I mean, one thing I still have a bit of concern about is their defense, because they signed Aid Nouri, I think he had one of the highest assists by a defender in the Premier League last season. Yeah. And he definitely looks like a very creative player. But we all saw their defensive frailties against Al Hilal.
Right.
Al Hilal, right? Yeah, in the Club World Cup where they ripped them on the counter attack. So I feel like him bombing on so much and Matheus Nunes not being a first choice, like right back by trade, if
I heard, if I'm not wrong, on the note, Rico Lewis did sign a contract extension, so that's probably good news for them. He was being touted by
Nottingham Forest, right?
So
But I mean, Rico Lewis, unless he bulks up, I feel defensively he's going to have the same problem because last season he was actually getting like bullied off the ball so much.
Right. The sort of both pros and cons of Guardiola's team is your physicality can be questioned, but the way he has been known to invert fullbacks and put them in like attacking positions. I would say like Liverpool, they lack or miss Rodri right now. Once Rodri comes back into the team, he's going to be that sort of ball winning, clean up job midfielder who could cover all the spaces that these fullbacks need.
But the fact that he's a little older now in his age, he's 28, 29. Rodri, yeah.
And
he got an ACL
it also
now.
depends how
he
well
comes
he's
back.
able to come back. What kind of Rodri do they get?
See, that's going to be the biggest.
Almost a season now.
More than a season, right?
Yeah.
Because the fact is ACL is such an injury which we have probably never suffered, touch wood, never do. But coming out of that injury in such a high octane
you never know
game,
what player you're going to get.
Exactly.
And arguably, like Van Dijk took
some time,
season and a half to actually get there. So it can be.
And Rodri was a very big linchpin of their team. He was able to
he didn't win the Ballon d'Or for nothing. So we probably had to highlight that.
So I mean, given their defensive kind of shakiness and that Ederson is probably going.
I was about to bring that up.
But did you know? Jamie Carragher brought it up in I think Stick to Football that Trafford is 6'6".
Whoa, is he?
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Apparently
he somehow
6'6".
looks short in front of the backline they have, which makes me wonder how tall
are the other ones. But actually, he's bulked up significantly from the last time he played for Burnley, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. He's probably 22, 23. He's still still young.
Very young.
He probably not grow taller anymore, but he can definitely bulk up.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We know that Guardiola likes ball playing
goalkeepers. Correct. That is what he is.
He, like James Stafford, has come off of City's
academy,
school
correct.
and academy.
Yeah,
so a lot of that has been injected into
the way he plays.
So we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
I am kinda worried, scared as a Liverpool fan because their team, if you remove the potential issues that they could have with defense, if they can mask it with their control play, they have a brilliant squad. Like you have Haaland, Marmoush, Cherki, Foden, Doku, Savinho, Oscar Bob.
He might leave, but the fact that they are tracking Rodrigo
as a replacement,
that is.
I know, right? And then you have midfield of Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Rodri to come, of course, Nico Gonzalez, and Tejani Reinders. Like the team looks so solid on paper.
Right.
I mean, I feel if they get everything working, like if Marmoush is able to integrate into this team, that makes their attack extremely dangerous. And if Foden can come back to the levels he had the year before, right?
A couple of off-field changes. We ought to talk James French and Pep
Linders,
Pep Junior, Linders, moving to Man City. They're going to bring and they're going to infuse a different
mentality
to this team. Like
actually, towards the end of the Klopp era, it seemed like the team was more Pep Linders than Klopp because he seemed to inculcate a lot of his ideas because in the first game they played against Wolves, the extremely high line they kept almost reminded me of the high line that Liverpool started playing at some point.
Right? Yeah. On that note, it just reminds me and I sort of want to
bring it up
and sort of just enjoy the camaraderie Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp have.
Yeah.
Like they were, call it nemesis for each other. They fought tooth and nail for like 5 or 6 years.
More than that, right? In Bayern Dortmund days also.
Openly came out in every interview acknowledging how each other helped them make stronger and better, which is very professional. very refreshing to see. We've always seen like
Animosity.
Alex Ferguson and
Wenger.
Arsene Wenger fight. Then came Mourinho
And Conte.
and Conte. The point I want to bring up is the fact that Guardiola reached out to Jurgen Klopp to sort of get reference check on both the sort of James French and Pep Lingers. Shows it's beautiful. Like I don't know how to describe this camaraderie or this rivalry. Rivalry is not the right word. Rivalry is probably the right word.
I think it's very respectful rivalry. Like,
It's
yeah.
Go on. I'm sort of joking now in the sense that it's sort of unheard of.
Yeah.
Like it's probably the kind of respect you would have seen in like the times of I don't know, in times of like, Romans and where people used to be like actually foot soldiers.
Yeah, I think it's that I'm gonna do this Mahabharat, right? Where you fight during the day and then once the sun goes down, you kind of sit together and eat almost.
Wow, what an analogy.
I know, right?
Point being, it just wanted to bring this up. It has nothing to. It just shows how beautiful football or sports in general could be. So. Slightly digressing, which we always do. We do
go offside.
Stray offside.
So Man City, if they can get everything right, are strong competitors. But I feel like they might just miss out.
They might just miss out. Or here's what I feel: they are typically going to do what Man City do always: take until Christmas to figure this out. And post Christmas will be like, oh my God, we like don't want to see them come,
14 game winning streak.
Yeah, I really hope I've sort of jinxed it by saying this. But man, it's going to be a fierce season.
Team, I mean, their attacking talent is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Attacking talent brings me to
Black Horse.
to our Black Horse or Dark Horse. I'll say Chelsea is probably your and my dark horses for the title.
I would probably want to bet on them. They look solid. They went a different route of showing that you could have two starting 11s. Probably not like proven world class 11s, but they have like strong potential.
I don't think they have world class 11s.
No, they don't. So that's why I said they went another route or a parallel route where you could sign players just waiting to break up.
Correct.
And explode. So
and give them that platform to kind of express themselves.
So they like I don't know, call it Liverpool. They made good signings early on. They moved quick in the market, especially with the Club World Cup. They sort of signed Joao Pedro, who just hit the ground running, scored
brilliant goals
for them already. They snatched up Liam Delap, which is probably a steam 30
million, right? I think a lot of teams were up for him. Like Man United were after him, Newcastle were after him to actually get him. It's like a big coup for them, right?
Yeah. And then what else? They
signed Bino Gittins as a winger, who's like a very, very good young prospect from Borussia Dortmund.
Right.
And then you're a player you really wanted to come to Liverpool.
Who's being touted to come to Liverpool as well at some point in time, or it is tracked.
Jared
Hato. He's I think now 18 or 19.
I think 19.
He just to show his sort of
maturity.
He captained Ajax at 17.
Right.
Pretty solid, solid left-sided, left-footed defender. Also can play left back.
Correct, right? I mean, in their team now that Levi Colwill especially has gotten injured, like ACL for the season. You never know in a back three, like Hato, given the right opportunity, he could maybe click into that centre back who people are willing to pay 80 million, 90 million for. Right, he could be that success story for them. You never know. But like, given that, go on.
No, I was going to say we probably have to acknowledge the fact that no one, their odds to win the Club World Cup final, were against it. Had someone betted on them, they would have made millions. I know. I'm pretty sure. Like no one expected. I thought they would lose 3-0 or so, but the fact that they actually won 3-0, 2-0,
and they dominated PSG.
Them.
They dominated PSG.
That was very refreshing to see. So
I mean, Cole Palmer, if he's on his game, he's probably one of the best number 10s in the world at this point.
Like
it pains me to say Wirtz is not the best, but I have to acknowledge.
That is in terms of form.
No, but I have to acknowledge that over the past couple of years, like Cole Palmer's numbers have been
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think even Wirtz has given like 60 odd goals and assists in last 2 seasons, which is pretty
Is it
solid.
60?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay.
So it's pretty solid. The only like Cole Palmer is not new to Premier League.
Yeah.
And he's more adept to the physicality.
Physicality
so it
as
remains
well.
to be seen how Wirtz comes into the
And does kind of what Cole Palmer
exactly.
does. So, I mean, given this team, like Chelsea, the fact that they've signed well, not only that, they've actually sold well. They've sold Madueke for
I was reading this. I think the article on Athletic. They have signed players of up to like 210 million. And
210.
210 million, and they have sold players worth 200 million. It
That's-
just goes to say
Their business model is working.
their business model is working, and I honestly didn't expect them to have such good transfer
Numbers, yeah.
Like all the players that they picked up, having a bloated squad, like what 30, 40
30, 40 people, yeah.
and then to start selling them like the very next season, some of them, man,
I would have never expected
no one
them.
expected this.
I would have never expected them to get 25 million for Dewsbury Hall or like a 20.
Renato Viga was
Correct,
for
some
30.
25 million something. Like and they almost always get bailed out by Saudi because like Joao Felix, whom nobody wanted, got sold to Saudi for like 40, 50 odd million.
And apparently now Nicholas Jackson is being tracked by Aston Villa. And that could mean some more profits coming.
The point is, from Nicholas Jackson, they like. I would say it's an upgrade getting Liam Delap and Joao Pedro.
Both Premier League experience,
Correct.
both with a lot of potential
and physical, right? So
on the note of physicality, I was just going through stats. Liam Delap got the most yellow cards last season, which is 12.
Wow!
I'm like, he's going to be ready for a fight.
Drogba.
Yeah.
I mean, see, he is. If you see in the past, the strikers that have succeeded for Chelsea somehow have been the physical ones. Like you saw Drogba succeed for them. After that, you saw Shevchenko fail, Mutu fail. You had
the
so many
curse of Chelsea's number 10.
Torres,
let's bring Fernando Torres in.
Fernando Torres failed, and then the one striker who sort of succeeded for them was Diogo Costa.
Yeah, sure.
Who was again like a physical, burly kind of striker.
Bully kind of a striker. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So the fact that Liam Delap has a history for that like makes me feel maybe that's what they need, right? Because they have so many like cute attacking players in Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Bino Gittins now. Potentially Xavi Simons could come in, and like Joao Pedro, although he's physical, he's known for his like link-up play more.
For sure.
So having like an attacking player could kind of help them. Like one big player to hold it up and then bring others in. And the fact that Caicedo is looking the player that they paid 100 million for.
Yeah, so is Enzo Fernandez. Is sort of slowly.
Enzo Fernandez, I still think 100 million was a little too much. Was just probably World Cup hype.
He's still blowing hot and cold. He's not really able to sustain that form.
He probably hasn't found his position yet in the team, is what I feel.
Not that.
Maybe he is a number 10, but nobody
is not really being
played
there. Or for sure.
Nobody's going to house Cole Palmer.
He's then probably going to have to settle being a
number 8, correct.
And then Caicedo being the number 6.
Number 6, correct. So I don't know how it works, but for them, if the different things, actually, end of the season, even Sanchez played really well for them. Yeah. But I have big questions on their goalkeeper. I have big questions on, actually, speaking of goalkeepers, they sold Petrovic for 25 million to Bournemouth.
They sold Kepa. So,
it's insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if their goalkeeper can have miraculously a good season, and they can figure out somehow how their defense works, and if Cole Palmer can sustain his form throughout the season, I feel they could be a dark horse.
They could really be a force to reckon with. The one thing which arguably can rough them up or unsettle them is how do they cope with Champions League as well. Like I know they had Europa Conference League last year, which is Thursday and
but
Sunday.
They literally played a different team.
I was about to bring that up, but now that given this is Champions League, you ought to play an equally stronger or probably like your best 11 in Champions League as well. Could that mean they probably have their like attention divided and probably not yet ready to give their 110% every game, like almost 3 games a week?
And this is the first year when the Club World Cup happened in the summer, right?
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
lack of
They
preseason.
started late. Yeah.
So you never know how that kind of builds into the fitness of the players when we know the infamous holiday schedule in England, which is so grueling. When in other countries they get a break at that point. So it's going to be super interesting to see how Chelsea go. But I'm actually, I feel like if they get a good start, which they actually have a relatively easier start compared to what Man City or a Liverpool or a top Arsenal have, they could be in the fight. They were in the fight at some point last year.
They were,
at least around November, October. They were in the fight. You never know. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. The 4 teams done. The team which finished 5th last year, Newcastle. The Isak situation ongoing throughout the summer probably definitely did not help the morale. But I think the bigger problem for them was the loss of their sporting director, and the problems in their backroom staff.
That's right.
I think it kind of messed up their complete transfer strategy, right?
True. I think it sort of put them off balance. They did sign. I'm forgetting this name.
Elanga.
No, not striker. They signed. I am forgetting the name. I think it was Sudarshan. Someone they signed him as
something as the
technical or sporting.
Correct.
Yeah, people of Indian origin in tech fields. Point being, no, right. You rightly brought up that there is a lot of transition and changes going off the field as well, which is unsettling. Eddie Howe's preparation. There were reports that Eddie Howe is also having to step up into some of the off-field roles.
Yeah.
To sort of bridge the gap, which definitely then means that his resources and time and effort are probably being divided. And the elephant in the room is probably like Isak. All the antics of Isak isn't really helping them. Although I think they as a club know that they do not have all the sort of bargaining chips. They sort of are playing it intelligently.
I would say they still do.
They do. But they're also not burning the bridges. Also, Isak wants to do it.
Isak is desperately trying.
I think Isak is just going full rogue for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think Isak, at the end of the day, is also a sensible player in the sense that with a World Cup year, he would want to play. There is no way he's going to warm the bench and just do training off the field and be like, hey Sweden,
and his potential replacement is playing in the Premier League.
Exactly. So I think, should the transfer not happen, I hope it happens. Newcastle do know that they. I was. Now that I spoke and thought myself through, it's probably hanging in the balance. It's not as worse, but let's also address the fact that Isak and the situation around Isak has sort of stolen the limelight. Honestly, they have signed Newcastle type players that they have been signing for the last 2 seasons.
Sure.
Have they signed sort of a world class player yet? Not really.
No.
But they have done what they always do: sign players who are ready, but not really like a beast of a players. They signed Malik Thiaw, who is going to be who
could be interesting.
Who could be interesting. FM does show that he's a solid player.
Okay.
So he could be someone who could step up along with Sven Botman. I really hope Sven Botman has an injury-free year. If that means he plays only 1 game a week, I don't know what that is, but I really want him to play. They have 2 very promising bombarding fullbacks in Timo Livramento and Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall actually was a revelation last year.
Exactly. So point being, we keep thinking or we keep saying, or probably the news, the picture in the media is that they didn't really have the players, but not really. They signed Ramsey, who's a solid. They signed Ramsey on loan, but he's going to provide some competition. Yeah, he did. I did check. Thiaw as a defensive centre back.
And then Elanga, of course.
They signed Elanga. They just signed Jacob Ramsey, who can be a very solid
a left wing number 10 floating kind of player. Actually, what that does is enables a Gordon to potentially play up top.
Right.
And he's actually done pretty well.
That's right. And they have Wow. the 18-year-old midfielder. They have Mikel.
Oh,
I'm forgetting his name, but they have a very promising midfielder.
Oh,
We could
wow,
probably
okay.
leave the player's name on comments.
Okay.
He was promising last year. He even
Okay.
scored few goals, but then got injured.
Oh, wow.
That's another thing that Newcastle would hope doesn't repeat itself. They had a lot of players who got injured.
Oh, so many.
And Sandro Tonali, he probably is going to hopefully have one full-fledged season,
Yeah.
Premier League season. So he is, I mean, not a new signing, but he could be a solid one.
I mean, I think their problem was last year when they got Champions League.
Yeah.
I think their squad was decimated. Like the injuries
Exactly.
essentially broke their squad. This year again they have the Champions League, but they don't. I don't think they have the squad depth yet.
Right.
Like they still lack that.
I was going to add that they do lack a squad depth for a team to compete in Premier League, Champions League, and the cup
Other competitions.
So that's the thing. And I really hope they either end up signing either of Johan Visa, or Brun Larsen, or maybe both.
Both. I think
That's
both.
going to be fun. And there is this 20-year-old Danish striker called William Osula that they signed last year.
Oh, he's the young one who's,
Yes.
if Isak leaves, he's probably the only recognized striker that they
Right.
have.
So I really hope he's really as good as he's
What
been
they say.
touted to, and sort of has a breakthrough year. Overall, I think it's just a narrative. It's definitely sort of a sorry situation out the field, too many transitions, too many white noise. But I for once hope that Eddie Howe and Newcastle have a solid season. They're really a solid team. And we've been discussing this off the screen that I somehow feel Newcastle are where Liverpool were like 10 years ago.
Potentially.
Where they track every good, solid, upcoming player in the market only to lose out on them.
To the bigger
James Trafford, Hugo
Ekitike, even Liam Delap, Joao
And
Pedro.
apparently they did track Brian and Bomo as well. But the
Correct.
fact that they got to know that
He's
he
going
wants
to
to go to Man
Man
United,
United.
they didn't really push for
That's
it.
actually a good point you bring up, right? I mean, they've actually, if you look at their targets, they've all been top players or players that the top teams wanted.
Right.
So that shows that they had their eyes on the right players, but they just couldn't get them through either because of a lack of background effort
Right.
due to the structure changes, or the fact that they don't have the pull yet of a club.